When the outdated tactics get left behind, it's time we stop. Marketers look around when your ranking's going down.
I'm sure people have come to you with real businesses and they've been suspended from, their Google business profile has been suspended. And I guess
just a few.
Yeah, all right. So what are things that they've done? What are some of the most common things sites or companies do to get suspended, and how do you get them to be unsuspended?
Okay. Just for everybody that's watching this or listening to this, so I am known as and I didn't give myself this title, but I'm known as the world's leading expert when it comes to suspensions and reinstatements. I've done over 3,600 of them myself in the last 12 months. That's not including what my company does. And if you go to the Google support page, or actually when you seek reinstatement, you're going to see my funky face on a video there showing you how to use the Google My Business reinstatement form. So I'm on Google's actual site. So that.
So do you think you might know a little on this topic, Ben?
Not really. No, I'm just getting started. I just got started last week, actually. All right, so common reasons for suspensions. Sometimes you can breathe on your Google My Business profile the wrong way and it will get suspended. Actually, believe it or not, that's actually not an exaggeration. There was one point where I was working with an agency. Exactly. Look at that. Check your email, man. You've been suspended. No, but it's basically literally they opened up the profile. We were just going to review it really quickly, and bam, it got suspended like 30 seconds later. That's of course a horrible example, right? Well, I mean, it's just a horrible experience. So, but Google sees things. They look at it two different ways. They look at what they consider suspicious activity, which is a huge freaking bucket, and then they look at malicious intent, basically. I guess it's the kind of same thing. Suspicious activity is, number one, and then number two is really going to come down to basically what they consider violation of the guidelines. Okay. For instance, if your business name was Internet Marketing Ninja Service Tools and Communities, and that's what you put on Google My Business, that's probably going to be a violation. Actually, it is going to be a violation, right? Because it's not actually your business name. Yeah. So, and then the secondary violation, and actually, let's pick on you, Jim. Your secondary violation is that you have your address showing for an address which you're actually not at, and you have no authority over, right? So that's your second violation. Usually when there's a name violation, there's always going to be a secondary violation, by the way. So, basically from a data integrity standpoint, they're going to suspend your listing if they have a suspicion that you are doing something nefarious or you're not in the guidelines. Again, remember, you're guilty till proven innocent. And Google's job is to have the right information at the right time for the right user. So if they suspect your information is not right, they're going to take you off. So names, addresses, users are a huge reason for suspension. I have a company that I deal with out in New Jersey. They have 4 locations. They're drug rehabs, and they're legitimate. They do have keywords in their name, but they've done it legitimately through us. We've gotten them in compliance. It's one of the services that we offer. And so basically what they did is they just literally fired this SEO company. And unfortunately, that SEO company also had a user which was connected to their AdWords. That user from AdWords was connected to all their Google business profiles. By the way, if you're using a AdWords company or pay-per-click company, they do not need access to your Google My Business profile. If they do, they need to give you in writing, detailed reason why they need access. But I can guarantee you, there's no legitimate reason. They can turn on AdWords extensions without having access, local extensions. Anyway, so yeah, name, address, Users are a big thing. Users, a telltale sign of users being the issue is that all Google business profiles in your account get suspended at the same time. We see this with agencies a lot, where I get an email and it's like, I've got 1,000 Google business profiles which went dark overnight.
Oh,
Yeah. You don't ever want to go through this, by the way. Not to mention, there's a huge legal liability, because now you're costing companies thousands of dollars a day. And it's obviously absolutely your fault. It's not Google's fault. So that's another aspect of the liability. And plus, you're going to lose customers, period. Right? They're going to go somewhere else. Anyway, long story short, no reinstatement is the same. And the reason for this is because there's so many different confusing factors that go on. Everything from I moved, and I'm no longer at my address, to my Secretary of State entry still shows my old address, or I have a Better Business Bureau profile, which is in a different address, different zip code. When we move, our habits are usually not to go back and fix everything, right? We're moving. It's big enough of a headache. So there's a lot of inaccurate data out there. But then again, any literal thing can be an issue that causes the suspension. It might not be the profile itself. And that's the thing that people don't understand is, I've got customers coming to us, they've got malware on their websites. Their website is 404ing, right? They're using a Facebook URL, something still silly like that. I've got other ones where literally they're just using a review gathering software. They put the admin from the company in their profile. Next morning, they're suspended. They have no idea why. Speaking of no idea why not, a little bit of a funny thing. It's always kind of funny when somebody comes to us and they're a psychic and they're suspended. The reason why they're funny is because they always lead their emails off with, I have no idea why I'm suspended. Well, I thought you're psychic. Anyway, I'm joking. I'm kidding. So it actually does happen. But seriously, the process of getting reinstated is very difficult. It's not straightforward. There's a lot of ins and outs to it. And there's a lot of things that Google can see on their end that we cannot see. And those turn into things called red flags, basically. And sometimes it's just not straightforward. And like people who get suspended today, I got bad news for you. It's going to take 15 days just to get a response from Google. So don't play fast and loose with your Google business profile. It is your livelihood. They will take you down. You will be down for an indeterminate period of time. And like most businesses, usually when you're down for about a week or so, you're letting people go. You're firing people. You're hurting people's livelihoods. So make sure your Google business profile is in compliance with the guidelines. Don't mess around with it. Don't add keywords. Don't go into a virtual office. Don't expand your territory by opening up multiple locations unless you are doing all of this in the guidelines. In other words, give me a call.
There you go.
Just look around.